welcome back to the place where we are, which is where you are, but not really, because if you were here, my apartment would be very, very cramped and a little bit smelly. That's not a slight on you. I have overactive pheromones. This is Hack the Dino Gaming Cast, where we bring you the past, present, and future of video games news, previews, and I was going to say excitement, but I forgot my own catchphrase now. You distracted me, Zach. That jolly laugh you can hear is that of Zak Sabbath joining us at the table once again. Zach, welcome back.
Oh, overpowered pheromones. Let's go.
Should that be my new in-ring persona?
Oh, please.
That's my finisher, the overpowered pheromone.
That's great.
I just lift my armpit and sort of like squirt
Oh,
moisture. How you been, Zach?
fantastic, mate. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, thank you for coming. I was saying only before that you are probably, well, not only the first person I go to when one of the members of the Dino Cast can't make it, but also probably have more charisma than all the Dino Cast put together. Maybe not Floppy.
No, Floppy's a gift. Floppy's a freak.
Speaking of Dino Cast, live chat, I want you to guess now, type away there, who's running the show tonight? Is it Floppy behind the computer? Is it Anto behind the computer? Is it Braden behind the computer? Is it Jazz behind the computer? Or is it some unknown... I will say the WWE's in Australia at the moment, so we don't know. Could be Cody Rhodes there. Who's it going to be? Ooh. Is it... Okay, we got Mike Boomer. No, Mike Boomer is at a WWE tryout. Kojima, close. It could be Kojima. Yes, you're right, Dylan the Villain. It could literally be anyone. Zach, do you have any idea who it could be? I've put them behind the curtain.
I have absolutely no idea. I'm going to be as shocked as everybody else.
Okay, here we go. Michael, yeah, you're right. It's me. I've cloned myself. I'm there doing it all.
That's a terrible, terrible image. Two Bens. I wish that upon no one. A curse upon the earth, the scourge.
I wish that on no one. Okay, here we go. Mystery person. Will you please reveal yourself? That way. Reveal yourself. There he is! It's Anto!
Hello, everyone.
Anto's back.
It's me again. It's so, anticlimactic considering all the build-up. But
Anticlimactic. Yes! But that more than wakes up for it, Anto. So what have you been doing?
Yeah, good. I've been doing what I do best, which is platinuming extremely hard video games.
Yeah. Guess what he
Bloodborne.
platinumed.
What? What'd you platinum?
Bloodborne.
Oh my god.
Give him the list. What have you platinumed out of those games?
Out of the Souls games, I've done Souls 1, Souls 2, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, and I'm working on Souls 3, and I'll do Demon Souls when I've done the rest.
Do you just hate your life, or...?
No, they're just not really very hard games.
Look, I enjoy... I've played through 3... I tilted off the planet with Elden Ring trying to catch the best summon. I can't remember its name. A little shroudy thing, immune to pretty much my entire build. It just tilted me off the planet. You probably know who it is.
It's Jeff.
Jeff. It's an assassin.
Jeff, man.
Yeah, I know which one you mean. It's the black something assassin.
Yes,
I can't remember what it's called.
Best summon in the game, right? And I had a full dragon plague build, which it was completely immune to.
Yep.
So I had to cheese it after multiple attempts and ended up pulling my beard hair out. And uninstalled it.
I'm still salty.
Yeah, still salty. Beat Bloodborne as well. Great. They are great games. The feeling of satisfaction when you beat a boss.
Yeah, it's. I've never done heroin, but I imagine the high you get from beating a boss that you've been stuck on for hours is like that.
Anto coming in hot. Wow. Zach, you mentioned that you get frustrated and you pull your beard hair out and everything.
Yes.
Where can people go to watch you do that?
Find me on twitch.tv/Zak_Sabbath, especially since I've been playing Overwatch 2, and that does the exact same thing.
And we'll play Fortnite one day when my internet connection doesn't drop out when we're just about to go on air, and I'm going, I'm sorry, and I uninstall it, and it won't reinstall, and going, dude, I don't know what's going on.
I still played Fortnite. I'm like, this is a time.
It would have been better
a time
if Ben was here to sink the ship.
That's right.
But what else is new, Zach? You've got a lot happening coming up.
Yes,
going on?
Obviously we've got RCW has got a massive array of shows coming up. Fringe Mania, exciting stuff for us. We've got 4 shows this year. 3 nighttime shows and a daytime show. And I've found out I'm booked on all of them.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Are you working the next day?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Up at 4 a.m., baby.
Oh, just don't sleep.
Yep. I might as well just throw it in the bin at this point.
The shows, 3 of the shows start at like 11:15.
Yep.
And they go for an hour.
Yep.
Yep, good. And then we
hour
have to
and a
pack.
half.
Oh, hour and a half. And then we have to pack the ring down afterwards.
Yes. There's going to be a time. It's going to be an exhausting 4 weeks. And then amongst all that, I have my first powerlifting competition the week after Fringe.
And now, you may not be able to see this at home because Zak's sitting down, but take it from me as someone who sees Zak only once a month. He's freaking jacked, man. Like, just look at those shoulders. He's like, put on, how much muscle you put on?
I think you mean he's friggin' zacked.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah, rip Zak's back.
Oh, that should be your new shirt. Zak Sabbath.
Zak Sabbath. How are you not broken? Oh, I am. Every day is agony. Don't be
wrestling.
me.
Don't be wrestling.
Make better life decisions.
So what does a powerlifting comp include?
Well, it's only a novice competition, so it doesn't have weight classes yet. So this is like the introductory to the weight classes and the state and the nationals and all that other stuff. So you got your 3 big lifts, being bench, squat, and deadlift, and you train to get better at those lifts. So at the moment, my deadlift is 220, which has gone up by 20 kilos since last time I was on the show.
That's huge.
My bench is, I almost had 120, but I reckon I'm going to go for 120 on comp day. And my squat has improved in form, but unfortunately it's still capped out at 180 kilos at the moment.
So 120 with the bench. How many reps do you have to do, or is it just
one?
Just one rep.
One massive rep, like with a soul-crushing amount of weight.
Oh my goodness, I could never do it. Nah.
I enjoy it. It's something different. It's the first time I've gone to the gym for something that wasn't wrestling related. So
yeah,
it's been an interesting journey. You could follow the whole thing on my socials. Just look up Zak_Sabbath and you'll find me.
I was just about to say that. In fact, I'm going to put it on the Hack the Dino website.
Oh, thank you. I
Put
appreciate that.
Zak's links on the Hack the Dino website. So head on over to hackthedino.com where you can not only follow Zak's journey as well as Zak's streaming, but also all the stuff we do, including my Super Retro Squad, where I go out each weekend with a friend of the show, Julian Ghost Games, and we find retro stuff.
I have been enjoying that content.
You have seen it? It's very, as Braden described it, as Noorish. Like, all it is I have my GoPro on, and we go around, and it's basically a point of view of what we find. Yeah. And it's a fun time. I enjoy it, and you enjoy it too, because it's doing pretty well.
Yeah, no, it's good. I enjoy it. Michael Towns, just to answer your question, yes.
What was Michael Towns' question?
Could you pick up Ben, hold him upside down, then shake him until his lunch money falls out? Yes, I could. I actually did that at the last Ask Sit Up show. People were calling me small. They were telling me I've lost weight. My shred I was looking good in my shred, which sent me into a spasm. So I started picking up everybody and squatting them.
That was Hater, right?
No, it was actually Party Guy.
Oh, he should know better.
So I picked up
Party
Amber
Guy
by
time.
her ankles and over my head to assert dominance.
Yes.
They ribbed one of the rookies too. One of the guys I literally haven't seen since the tryout. He comes up to me, "Oh, Zak, good match. That was really good. You lost weight. You're slimming down." So I literally picked him up with one arm and started squatting.
Yep.
To assert dominance.
Yep. That's how you have to do it.
It was a good day.
It's a locker room full of silverbacks at RCW. That's why I stay in the promo room and shut the hell up.
It was. I don't know. The vibes were good that day. Everyone made some really good debuts. It was the last. You should check Riot City Wrestling out on YouTube. You'll see the show. It was a good time.
You can see me read Dean Brady's intro because he wanted so much I had to write it down. I said, "That's all right. It'll be a gag."
Yeah.
It wasn't a gag. I had to read it. Anyway, Pokemon. Games. Pokemon's a game, and we play games here. Funnily enough, I've been playing Pokemon Yellow still. Don't know why, but it's really comforting. Just at the end of a long day, sitting down with my Game Boy SP, which we can see on the front there, and just booting up the old Pokemon Yellow and playing it. So far on my team, I've got my Pikachu, of course. I've got a Butterfree, because I like Butterfree. I've got a Pidgey. I've got a Charmeleon, just got a Squirtle. And I've got a Gyarados, because you always get the Gyarados in Kanto. Always. Zak, what have you been playing?
So, as I said before, I've been playing Overwatch 2 because the new season just dropped with a new patch, which has made it different.
What was all the hate on Overwatch? Like, people going, Overwatch is done. It's dead. Overwatch 2 is crap.
It is. It's nothing what they promised. So, they promised a new game with PvE and so pretty much a whole new game mode for PvE. So kind of like a horde-based shooter or some levels to play through, similar to for Left 4 Dead kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anto might know that as my.
There was also meant to be a pretty much standalone campaign mode
Yes.
for people who weren't into competitive shooting and stuff.
Yes, 100%. There's pretty much going to be more game.
Yeah.
And then they've turned around and said, sorry, too hard. Everything we promised you is now in the bin.
Like The Last of Us multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what was meant to be Overwatch 2 is now Overwatch 1. Actually, for a while it was Overwatch 0.9. It's because it's gone back a massive step. But now it's upgraded to Overwatch
like
1.5.
1.2 and a bit.
Yeah. 1.2 and a bit.
Oh, so it's a floppy disk.
Yes. It's look, it's gotten better. I've been enjoying it with my friends playing competitive. I used to get really worked up about competitive, like almost afraid to play it because for some reason I cared if people thought I was good at video games. I don't anymore, so I just play it for the fun.
Yeah.
I've also been playing Pal World, which is fantastic.
Now, we briefly spoke about it. I brought it up on the show quite a few times saying this game looks fun, but no one believed me. And then lo and behold, it came out. And is it fun, Zach?
Mate, fun is an understatement. You know what? But playing the game was so much fun that I got angry that the powers that be at Nintendo blew a 30-year lead and couldn't create this game.
Yeah.
Like, you play it right, and don't get me wrong, the mechanics are similar, okay? But, and there's a massive but, there are similarities, but it's not the same. One, this works on release. Okay?
That's fair.
The pals are interesting. They do all these different things. There's guns. You can enslave humans, and like...
It's slightly problematic.
But it is so good. It is such a cool game. Like, the fact that it's only $40 or it's free on Game Pass, if you have the Game Pass, which is how I play it, it is immaculate. It is like AAA devs really need to pull their fingers out. It's not even the devs, the suits that boss the devs around, right? They need to pull their fingers out and start making good games again, because the indie devs, the people who have the love and the passion, they're going to take over.
I completely agree with you.
Because
we are seeing so many high-end, top-quality indie games coming out.
Yep.
And I would much rather, I mean, it's been that way for a while, but I would much rather play a whole bunch of really cool indie games than shell out all this money for a game that's just like, okay.
100%. Like Helldivers, fantastic. Oh, Helldivers 2.
Yep.
Sea of Stars, I've been playing that.
Oh,
fantastic.
I still haven't finished it, but my goodness. See,
Neither have
I
I.
kickstarted that game.
Yes.
Because I had faith in it from the very start, and it's gone on and won awards at the Game Awards and whatnot. As Michael Towns says in the live chat, itch.io is the place where you go to find all these game devs, including Michael Towns and his Game Boy games. He's an indie game dev where you can go there and play his indie games. So that's a fun time. But no, I completely agree. Indie games are the way of future. What do you think of Sea of Stars?
Oh, it's fantastic. Like, It's got enough modern mechanics to keep it fresh, but it ticks all the notes of my childhood.
Chrono Trigger?
Yes, Chrono Trigger. But for me, as a kid, Anto will probably pipe up for this one. Grandia.
Dude, Grandia is so good.
Yeah, Grandia
People
1.
sleep on that series so hard.
Okay,
100%.
so I know Grandia exists. I've never played it. Hit me as to why I shall.
Okay, so again, I only beat Grandia 1. That was the first game I ever completed as a kid. Right? And I know I loved it so much. But it was turn-based combat, but similar to Chrono Trigger, you kind of moved around a bit, which really freshened it up. I think it was the usual JRPG tropes. Collect a cat, at the end you fight God, which is pretty much every JRPG ever. But I
can elaborate a bit further on combat, because it's as far as like turn-based RPGs goes, Grandia is probably my favorite.
Yeah, it was so good.
We touched on it last time I was on the show. The combat system is designed in a way that you can see every action that's going to happen on the field.
Yes.
So you've got little pixel icons on a bar that, is a wait period. Then there's a bit that says action. Not action, sorry. Like turn or something.
Mm-hmm.
Command, sorry, there we go. You then get to enter your ability, spell, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's move to a certain part of a field to avoid damage next round, whatever it is. And then there's a small wait period before that thing happens, but the game's abilities are designed around being able to cancel out other actions. So if you've got your character set up to be really quick and really good at breaking other abilities and stopping enemy actions, you can get through boss fights without taking damage. You just make your characters do critical attacks or do other attacks that cancel everything out, and you can just steamroll everything if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's a really satisfying system.
For its time, it was absolutely cutting edge. First game I ever beat. Grandia and Grandia 2. Phenomenal. And with Sea of Stars, the combat reminds me of Grandia. Like, I get some massive Grandia vibes. Like, obviously, the beautiful pixel art, the music, and sound design. The story so far has been amazing. But the traversing mechanics, where you have to climb up, solve these little puzzles to get to the next stage, is like, it's very modern. And I feel that's where the game really stands out for me as a old school pixel art RPG. Like, so good.
I might have to give that a crack. Give it a bell when I've got time. Don't have time. Speaking of time, Anto, you've been using all your time to not only platinum Bloodborne and all its many assorted titles, but also a little game that's coming out next week as we record this.
Yeah, so anyone who knows and listens and is more than likely absolutely fucking sick to death of me talking about it, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out next Friday.
How do you have a rebirth? Isn't that like the placenta?
No, that's the afterbirth.
Oh.
So that's part 3.
I always get those mixed
You didn't read the books, Ben.
Um,
You didn't read the parenting books.
yeah, no, it's... Yeah, look, Dylan's already given me shit for it, but that's fine. I think it's already, just based on the demo, it's going to be a contender for Game of the Year. I don't think that was in question for anyone who sort of pays attention to video games. I'm not going to go into sort of huge detail or rant crazy about it, but the amount of love and attention to detail the devs have put into tying everything that's come before into this release is insane.
Mm-hmm.
The demo that's come out is just the first chapter of the game, which is part of the Nibelheim flashback from the original. You get to play as Sephiroth, which is insane.
Now I'm interested.
He's super pretty.
Does he have
there's a
nipples?
bit where like him and Cloud kind of almost kiss before killing a big monster, which looks really cool.
Wow, really? Was that in the original one?
No, but people wanted it to be. So, but yeah, no, it's full of so much attention to detail. I cannot stress enough, if you have the time before this launches and you're going to play it, at least like watch a sped up sort of synopsis or overview sort of walkthrough gameplay of the original.
Or if you're Anto, just platinum the whole game again before next Friday.
Yeah, we'll do that. Just please try and go into this not as like a person experiencing it for the first time. Play the original at the very least if you can. It's on every modern system. You can cheese through combat with immortality mode if you need to. Or you can just turn encounters off and then cheese your way through the boss fights. Just fucking do it. Anyway, yeah, it's good. It's great. I'm not going to be available next Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I have all 3 days off. I am not doing anything else.
Very good.
Priorities. You looking forward to
that's what
Rebirth?
priorities are.
Oh, I
yeah.
played the first 7 remake, which to me, it was almost like this is what I envisioned Final Fantasy 7 like was to my childhood brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it was I played it in English, so Barrett's voice immediately was nails on a chalkboard.
Really?
Yeah. But when you remember the dialogue of Final Fantasy VII, no, this is exactly what he should have sounded like a bad Wish version of Mr. T. That's exactly how he said. I'm like, yeah, okay. It took a while. It did take a while, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. If I had a PS5, I'd be getting the Rebirth as well, but I don't.
And don't worry, here on Hack the Dino, we're going to stick with tradition and we're going to stream it a day before it actually releases and get suspended again.
What? I did the same thing.
You got suspended?
I didn't get suspended. I
Yeah.
tried to stream. I'm like, why? Like, I bought this game to stream on my PS4. Why are you not letting me stream it? I didn't realize.
Yeah,
Got stitched up.
ridiculous.
Stitched up.
Look,
Stitched
if
up.
we got it early, I would be extremely excited and very happy about it, but it's not going to happen.
No.
There are already physical copies out in the wild anyway, but like, it's
Why?
just the universe is going to not let me get this early.
Why did it get released early last time?
Because we were headed into lockdown.
Oh, see,
And
Yeah.
we
good
were-
guy move.
No, so they were.
Kind
Oh, no, not a good no move. Holy crap, everyone's going to be in lockdown. All these stores have physical copies and no one's going to be able to go and get them.
Yeah.
We'll let Australia have it early, but don't you dare play it. You
Yeah.
sit there like good children and do not share it with anyone. Otherwise, we'll hit you with a copyright strike and block your YouTube channel for a month.
It was also hilarious because they dropped it surprisingly on April Fool's Day. So
Yeah.
everyone was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Are you fucking with us?
Yep. And they were.
And like, I thought they were. I got a phone call from Floppy and a few other people being like, hey, like, 7's available today. I was like, nah, it's April 1st. I ain't buying that. And then I had a bunch more people call me, like, from work where I was working at the time. They were like, hey, your thing's available now. Do you want it? And I was like, yep.
And he went in there and it was just an NFT.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started. I'm still mad that they haven't dropped their NFT interest.
Really?
Yeah.
Similar story. When Skyrim originally came out on the PS3, that dropped early as well. I was working night shift at the time. Me and Boomer, Mr. Giggles will pop up somewhere, I'm sure. We were so excited because I'm the one that got him into the Elder Scrolls series with Oblivion. I had a collector's edition of Oblivion back in the day with the coin and the map. It was amazing. Loved it. Spent a lot of time in Oblivion, and we were so excited for Skyrim. And I was maybe 3 hours into my sleep for the day, and I get a phone call, hazy, and Boomer just screaming at me, "It's been released early!" Rip over the blanket, sprint down to pick him up, sprint down to the shops, sprint home, and that's all I slept that day. Ugh.
How good is it being young when your body doesn't rely on like sleep or sustenance, all
You
that
guys get
stuff?
sleep?
Well, I get plenty of sustenance. But for those playing at home, I have slept 5 hours and been up since 4 this morning.
Very nice.
And that's a good day for me.
Well
the
done.
noise, just in case anyone is curious, one of Ben's N64 Ocarina of Time postcards just decided to launch itself off the wall.
God damn it!
I'm
I only just got
convinced
them
this room
yesterday.
is haunted.
Was there any smashing?
I didn't hear any glass breaking, so I'm guessing it's okay.
Oh, so Stone Cold Steve Austin isn't here. Thank goodness.
What?
I get it.
Ah, wrestling joke. Speaking of wrestling jokes, there was none on the Nintendo Partner Showcase.
For God's sake.
What? That was a segue.
It
was
was
legitimate.
not.
The worst one.
No,
Yeah, that-
there's been plenty worse, Anto. You
I don't know. That's a reckon top 5 contender since I've been listening to the show.
No. Anyway, the Nintendo Partner Showcase was out during the week, and it was a good time. Everyone had a lovely time watching it. It was good that everyone went in knowing that we're probably not getting a Switch 2 this year. So they were like, yeah, whatever, Nintendo. Let's just get this year over with. I still think Metroid Prime might come out. Metroid Prime 4 might come out this year.
I don't want it to come out on Switch if it's going to.
They'll do both.
I don't. Nah, I want it to come out on the next system. Just own it and say, nah, we're going to bring it out on the next one as a launch title. I don't want it to be held back by this current system.
What do you mean held back by the Switch? It's got technology from like 2012.
Exactly.
Anyway, speaking of 2012, from Sonic Mania developer Evening Star, there's Penny's Big Breakaway, which was released. A game that was first announced in a Nintendo Direct last year. From
so
Pokemon
jealous
developer
of this game.
Game Freak, we have the Pocket Card Jockey Ride On, a game that first released on the Nintendo 3DS back in 2013. And was released on the Apple Arcade last year, but is now on the Switch, which is good because I was worried that was going to be stuck on the Nintendo 3DS graveyard. Anto, you have any plans to play Penny's Big Breakaway, considering it came from the Sonic Mania devs?
As soon as I knew they were developing this, I thought, okay, great. It's going to be a 3D Sonic-like with more interesting mechanics, probably. Which, you know, for anyone who knows, big Sonic fan, you know, it's kind of a big deal to think that this looks more interesting mechanically. Yeah, I'm jazzed for it. Like, if it's got half the love and attention and care that went into Sonic Mania, this is going to be easily a contender.
It
for
looks
Game of the Year
very
for me.
nice. Like, even watching gameplay footage now, I know you can't really go by gameplay footage on a Nintendo Direct or any kind of Direct for that matter, but this does look pretty cool.
Yeah, this looks insane. It's expensive though.
Yeah, how much is it?
I just checked on PlayStation Network and it's like $60.
Wow.
So it's a pretty expensive release coming from an indie dev, but honestly,
But, support indie devs.
the level of quality that's coming out of, as you guys were saying earlier, indie development in general now compared to AAA developers, absolutely going to be worth it.
What do you think, Zach?
It's no Sonic Adventure 2 battle, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah? Is this your type of bag?
Not really.
No.
Not really my cup of tea, but it does look really cool.
And
To
what
be fair.
about Pocket Card Jockey Ride On? I'm going to get it just because it's Game Freaks, and they have such a great hit record with games outside of Pokemon.
Nope, never heard of it. Probably will never play it.
Yeah, it's a card game / jockey simulator.
Yeah, to me that just sounds boring as hell.
Yeah, I wish I was joking.
What do you mean when you say jockey simulator?
Like horse riding jockey.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, right?
Next.
Well, what came next was the Xbox releasing 2 of their 4 Fable games that they said were going cross-platform. Don't worry, everyone. It's just these 4 games. Like, if these 4 games do extremely well, there's no chance at all that we're bringing any of our AAA first partner studio games to other systems. None at all. So don't worry about that, Xbox people. It's just these 4 games, and that's it. This certainly isn't testing the waters to see if we can make heaps of money. Don't worry about it. Yes,
Just
Anto?
before we talk about this,
Yeah.
the chat has mentioned a few things which makes me very happy. Kawaii Hardcore said, Penny's Big Breakaway gives off Dreamcast vibes.
Yeah.
And as someone who adores that system and wishes that it would somehow be resurrected from the dead, absolutely agree. But it also, as Townsy said, looks like the Misadventures of Tronbon, the Mega Man Legends spin-off that came out on the PlayStation. It just looks wacky and fun, and honestly, video games are too serious now.
Coming back to the Xbox, Dylan the Villain, who is a massive Xbox fan, has said, I don't trust anything Phil says anymore. Which, you know what, fair enough. But you got to remember,
He's an executive.
he's an executive in a business, so he will do whatever he needs to do to move systems. As I said last show, Xbox isn't the system anymore. Game Pass is the system.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can make money selling these franchises to other systems, like, it's time to it's time to get over the console wars. Forget it. It's done. Just play what you want to play and play where you want to play it. And if you can play it anywhere, which you can, Game Pass now, they're putting Game Pass on Samsung TVs.
Yeah, I was going to say I installed an app on my TV, on my Fire Stick that allows me to stream games from my PC. So,
Yep. Yeah, it's a new, it literally is a new age, and we just got to go with it. Anyway, so Pentiment will be coming to Nintendo Switch. It should be out now. It was released back in 2022. It's an adventure game from Obsidian Entertainment that tasks players with solving a series of murders. Anyone play this?
Nope.
Nope.
Haven't played it. Probably won't.
Probably, nope. This is not my bag.
Nah.
Well, if that's not your bag, maybe Grounded is.
Grounded's fantastic.
Yeah?
100%. It's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with friends. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And someone with arachnophobia, it is horrifying.
Is this the game where you have the slider where you can actually
Yes, you
adjust the spider into like
Yep.
just balls?
You can turn it
Yep.
into like a floating orb with eyes, which is also kind of terrifying.
I played it because I wanted that authentic experience. And the first time a radioactive wolf spider leaps on your face, caca. There is a clip on my channel of my soul leaving my body. Because I'm like shooting at it because I was cheesing it. I was cheesing it hard. I'm like, me, with my little bow and arrow. It just looks at me, disappears, lands on my face.
Wow.
And I scream. It is nightmare fuel, but it's so good. It's such a good game. And the best part, which I'll...
Is that the ball?
Okay.
We're watching balls attack us. Attacked by balls.
Wolf spider. That is, yeah. The radioactive ones jump, by the way. They leap on your face. Also found the Black Widow. Don't do that.
Right.
It's like a bonus boss, and it's...
Yeah, that's not a fun time.
No.
That moves like a spider. I don't like that.
it is horrific.
Yeah, that's not cool.
After a while, you just clap these things cheeks. Their spider cheeks.
Jesus.
That's a very different terminology for where I grew up.
Yeah. Look, man, I grew up in the Black Ops 2 era, okay?
Okay.
But it's a great game. It is so good. Like, again, it was an full price game that was early access. Like, everyone was very skeptical about it, but they delivered. They 100% delivered. And unlike a lot of survival games, it has an ending. It has a purpose towards all the grinding apart from just being endless, which is what I really like. I was streaming this one for weeks. It is fantastic.
So
Awesome.
pick
Play
it up on Switch.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, that one's a PC or an Xbox
Yep.
kind of
If
experience.
is it coming to PlayStation or is it going to Switch?
I think it's across all of them.
Good. Play it on
I think it'll
PlayStation.
come to PlayStation as well.
Speaking of not coming to PlayStation, but coming to Switch, we finally did it, everyone. That's right. After years of trying to get Reggie Fils-Aimé to do it, after years of barracking, after years of wanting and clamoring, Mother 3 is coming to Switch Online in Japan.
I don't understand, and I'm sure people will agree with me. There is already a stellar translation of Mother 3 that was done by fans that they could just patch over,
And it's
whatever
called
ROM they
Undertale.
have and release it.
Yeah, no, they could quite
Just
easily.
do it.
They can just go to the fans and pay them money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay them for
it's
the translated
$10,000.
script and just chuck it onto a ROM. Done.
It's almost a meme now, and it's like Nintendo. Nintendo like messing with their fans. It's like, oh, you want that, do you? Gee, that's a pity.
Here's a remake 12 years later you didn't ask for.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was quite funny that they included that, but didn't put it in the English translation partner direct. What they did put in, though, was 5 new games coming to Switch Online. See if you guys can guess the connection. So the 5 games that came to Switch Online were...
Could you say they're rare games?
God damn it, Anto. You're supposed to wait until the end. RC Pro-Am, Snake Rattle and Roll, Killer Instinct, Battletoads and Battlemaniacs, and Blast Core, which I maintain is one of the greatest games to come out on that system. Have you played Blast Core before, Zach?
I have not.
Anto, have you played Blast Core?
No.
Seriously, this game's amazing. The premise of the game, there's a nuclear warhead on a truck. The truck is running out of control. Your job is to don various vehicles, mech suits, and destroyers.
I have played that game.
And blow up the town to make sure that the truck doesn't collide and set off the nuclear weapon.
I have played that game. That was great.
And then the more levels you progress, the harder it gets, until you reach the bonus stage where the truck is on the moon and on Saturn and on Venus with different various levels of gravity, and you jump around making sure it doesn't blow up the planets in the solar system.
I have played that game. I
Blast
remember
Core.
it.
Blast Core is
wow, that's a
amazing.
blast from the past.
Eh.
I
I was a PlayStation 1 kid, so...
Yeah. Oh, well, then you would enjoy the announcement that Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, the original ones, are now coming out to Switch as well.
I did play a fair bit of Battlefront 2. That was a good game.
It was a very good game. I played a lot of them.
The remake is garbage. Pay to win trash.
Yep.
Thanks.
EA?
EA, you suck. You ruined my favorite dev too.
Who?
BioWare.
I was going to say BioWare?
Mm-hmm. They used to make good games.
A game that I thought looked really cool. I don't know if I've got this name right, but it's called Pepper Drill.
Did what now?
Pepper Drill. It's a side scroller where you play a character called Pepper, and they've got a drill, and they use this drill to obviously go through various enemies. But the whole idea is that you go through the ground, you drill through the ground. Pepper Grinder, that's what it is. And you go through the levels, and you're almost like a dolphin swimming in water. Here we go. So a big baddie comes up, goes, "Bleh, you're not getting through me," rah, 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 and they drill through his face.
Why is Plankton there?
That's what I thought as well. But no, it looks really cool. Like a whole bunch of hidden areas where you don't know if you're going to hit them or not, and you only do it by drilling through it. And it gave me sort of Donkey Kong vibes as well.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks, as you said, quite Donkey Kong-y, but visually it's giving me Cave Story vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
Which...
Just really nice pixel art as well.
Should go and play. Yeah, it looks brilliant.
Gorgeous
I
looking.
See this.
Another one that I didn't mention in the run sheet, but I completely cannot wait until it comes out. And I was stalling them because I can't remember the name of it. It is something Squire. Puppet
What's it
Squire.
called? The Tiny Squire or something?
Something like that. It's the one by the guy that the Australian dude who designed some of the Pokemon 2 generations ago, and then he left the
Plucky
Pokemon.
Squire.
Plucky Squire, that's the one. Did you see any of Plucky Squire, Zach?
Nope.
So this is the one. It starts off like a 2D adventure in a storybook.
Oh no, you did. You did cover this on an episode.
Yeah. And then you jump out of the storybook and you go 3D, and you alternate things
This looks
within the
really
storybook.
cool. This is different. I like this a lot.
Yeah, there was delay. It was supposed to come out last year, but it got delayed. Coming out this year, looks great. To the point where as I said, you adventure in the story, you jump in a portal and come out of the story. And when you're in the story, it actually looks like a moving kids book.
That's really cool.
And you jump out and you pull tabs to reveal different areas, like a pop-up book, and then you
That's
jump
awesome.
back into the game.
Oh look, it's got Mike Tyson's Punch Out. What?
Yeah, and a shooting mini quest. Yeah, and we're about to see here, jump out of the book, and you go full 3D in the room of the person reading it. Oh, man, what a game.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
this
That
looks-
looks really cool.
Insane. It's got, as you said, like almost paying tribute to things like Punch Out and other NES games, but it's the perfect sort of, to me at least, visually from what we've seen, it looks like the perfect hybrid of like overworld Zelda, stuff like Wonder Boy, all that old school like fantasy
Wonder Boy, I haven't heard that in a
adventure
long time.
games from like the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo era. It looks really exciting.
Yep.
It's
Man.
for the old and the old men at heart.
Do you remember Alex the Kid, Anto?
Sorry,
I
who?
do.
Alex the
Honestly,
Kid?
Alex
that
the Kid, huh?
goddamn theme song just is an earworm. It's in my brain and has
Ba-dum,
been since
ba-dum,
forever.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum,
Yeah,
ba-dum,
that one.
bum,
That's
bum.
That takes me back.
Um,
I'm old.
I recently found a Master System 2 or Mega Drive 2, whatever one Alex Kidd came out on, and I tuned it into my TV in my games room in order to test it. Ended up playing for like 2 hours. I'm just testing. Oh, it's pretty fun.
It was a good console, man. Sega was. Oh, that was my first one. It's the
Yeah?
Sega Master System and the Sega Mega Drive.
And last but not least, we had the announcement of Endless Oceans Luminous, which is just under the water discovery sim. Anyone played at that? Yeah? No?
Nope.
Multiplayer now. You can have up to 30 friends
I-
join you.
I played the original.
It's completely randomly generated now.
Ooh,
So every time you go into the ocean, it's a brand new world with brand new things to discover.
not sure I
They
like
have
that.
they've put like extinct animals in there as well. So, like there's an ichthyosaurus in there, just swimming around that you might find. As someone who has a horrible phobia of deep water, I'm not sure if I will play this.
So you love Subnautica then?
I've never played Subnautica.
I was
Mate.
just about to say, I feel like, and this might just be a me thing. I feel like if you're going to do an underwater exploration sort of
See, look at that.
procedural generation kind of thing, Subnautica's the benchmark.
100%. Fantastic game.
And if you're not going to match that, it's gonna fail.
Yep. Like, where's the like? So what? You just swim around underwater and that's it?
Mm-hmm.
No, play
Discovering.
Subnautica. Just
Yeah,
play
Subnautica's
Subnautica.
so
Build
much more interesting
bases,
than this
fight
looks.
bosses, try not to die. Great game. So much better.
Last but not least, in my last little bits of notes here, next week we have a Pokemon Direct coming.
No one cares.
For Anto.
No one cares unless
When have I ever been that rude to you?
every single goddamn
Just
show.
play Power World. Just play Power World. Ignore
Unless
it.
they announce Heart Gold and Soul Silver remakes, don't care.
Yep.
Well, I mean, like this is what I wanted to get at. In an ideal world, what do we want to see announced? It's on Pokemon Day. Now, bearing in mind 2026 is the 30th year anniversary, so they're not going to have anything too big because they'll be saving that for 2 years' time. So we're not going to get the brand new Gen 10 until then. But
We're on
what do
Gen
you reckon?
10 now?
What would we hope to see from Pokemon Day announcement? My guess is there's going to be a outbreak in Pokemon Go.
I want Heart Gold, Soul Silver, whether it's a straight port just onto the Switch.
But you can get it easy, Anto. It only costs like $400.
Yeah,
and you can get it on
exactly.
the
It's
DS.
the cost of a Switch.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. If you got a big box copy of Heart Gold or Soul Silver, it's $400 each.
Well, I got the card at home.
You got the cart? That's $150 for you.
But yeah, that's what I
gotta
want. I
find
want
my
some form of re-release of Gold and Silver because I think they're the best gen, in my opinion. Even though I grew up with Gen 1, I think Gen 2 is just better in every way.
100% it was.
It is. And I love Kanto.
Mm-hmm.
I think other predictions, they're going to focus at least 30% of the thing's runtime on Pokemon Go bullshit.
No, the Pokemon Go soured a bit.
Really?
No, they're all about their other ones now, like Pokemon Sleep.
God.
And Pokemon, the MMO one, and Pokemon...
the MMO one?
Wait, what?
Not MMO. What's the other one I'm looking for? What's the... not the MMO. The one where you have a map and you battle and you try and reach the goal and... Dota. The Dota ripoff.
Oh, Pokemon Unite?
Yeah,
yes,
Pokemon Unite.
That's one.
Not a bad game.
Really?
Yeah, not a bad game. The balancing team apparently don't look at it. They must code with their eyes closed, but it's not a bad game. I enjoyed it.
Do you know what I enjoy? Obscure Nintendo stuff that no one else likes. Guess what we're talking about?
Obscure
Nintendo stuff. No one else. No, not true. Here are 5 of the most valuable Nintendo peripherals that came out. Yes.
For a prediction for the Pokemon...
Oh, yes. Sorry, Zach. I forgot to throw to you. Yes.
Yeah. What's it called again?
Which one?
The Pokemon thing that's meant to happen?
The Pokemon Direct.
Presents.
The Pokemon Direct, that's it. They're going to announce a new survival game.
It's going to have guns and slavery.
Yeah, minus the guns and slavery. But they're going, oh, look at this game that we can definitely make.
What, you mean a Pokemon slavery game that doesn't involve enslaving small creatures and making them fight each other?
Yeah, no. I guarantee they're going to try and work on I think they're going to try and make a survival game as well.
I think they should, pull their fingers out and release a game that works and isn't running at 3 frames a second. That'd be nice.
Wave.
It would be. But they need a new console for that.
But this is what I'm hoping Power World does. It makes the Pokemon company go, oh, yeah, this is damaging to our brand. Releasing bad games for the sake of money is damaging to our brand, and we need to pull our fingers out and actually do something about that.
Who'd have thought?
Oh, yeah, what's your thought?
So my other prediction, and this is a wild card pick,
Mm-hmm.
I want them to either remaster or remake and build upon Pokemon Colosseum.
Yes!
Ooh.
Give us Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness.
I'd like Gale of Darkness because you know how much that game's worth.
$380.
Even more now.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, we're reaching $400 to $500 now.
Bloody hell.
What's Gale of Darkness? I remember...
That's with Shadow Lugia. It's like the RPG.
Is in Pokemon Colosseum XD.
Yeah, that one. It's just the sequel to Colosseum.
Dude, how good was that game? Like 3D open world-ish
Yep.
Pokemon game. Absolute, I'm like, yes, this is the future. This is going to be great. And no.
Yeah.
No. That was a flash in the pan. Ignore it. People don't want that.
Like Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
Open area. Everyone loved it. Came out to rave reviews. Yeah, we're not doing any more of them. Although I wouldn't mind seeing another one of them. Like if
It wasn't Scarlet pretty much that?
No, different mechanics. Different mechanics.
Oh, besides you didn't have to spam catch everything.
With Arceus, you could run around, you didn't have to battle them. You could run behind them and throw things and confuse them and then throw your balls at their face.
Oh, true.
So you didn't have to
Very
go
true.
into the traditional battling,
Yes.
which they had to pull back into. And also, whenever there was a shiny, you'd be walking around and you see this pring, and then you'd frantically be looking around because there was a shiny in the area, and then you eventually found it. Whereas with Scarlet and whatnot, they don't make a sound; they just appear in the overworld.
The reason they're not going to do a sequel to Arceus or expand on that formula is because people liked it. It was efficient. It ran okay.
Yeah.
And it just saved so much of the monotonous bullcrap that they force you through every generation, because every generation of Pokemon is intended to capture a new audience that's just been born who don't have the attention span to play Pokemon anyway, so shut up and give me Gold and Silver.
So number 5 most valuable thing
bad.
that's fallen off the thing. That's right, they're not my valuable things. Number 5 is the Game Boy camera and printer, which you can see if you're watching us on youtube.com/hackthedino or on twitch.tv/hackthedino. Nintendo produced its own thermal paper for this Game Boy printer.
I remember that thing.
You don't?
No, I do.
You do, yeah. So basically linked up to your Game Boy with a link cable that you also used for trading. And you had a Game Boy camera where you could take selfies or you could take pictures, you could edit them, and then print them out with the thermal paper
I remember the Game Boy camera.
You had to buy the thermal paper that fits specifically to the printer, though, because Nintendo released it. And, of course, Nintendo went, oh, no, it has to be this official paper. You can't get any rip-off paper.
Mm-hmm.
The Game Boy printer proved to be a success and was in production up until 2003. While Nintendo can sell the official thermal paper for the accessory until 2007.
Why?
Because money.
But who actually used it? Even as a kid, I remember seeing the Game Boy camera thing, and this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
What do you mean?
I can't remember the name of it, but there is an Instagram account that I follow that takes pictures with the Game Boy camera, and they look stylish as all heck.
Yeah.
Like, it's just this dude who wanders around the world taking pictures of scenery, like streets in Japan and stuff, and it looks awesome.
Sorry, I'm just looking up something I forgot to do my research.
8-bit feet pics, says Townsy.
8-bit.
Do it on Dine Only fans.
Yes,
Game Boy camera
good.
pics only.
Yes.
So the Game Boy printer. I can't find it. I should have done. Anto,
Hello.
can you please look up how much this pocket printer Game Boy edition is, please? I have a rough idea, but I want to give facts. So we are looking at, just for a normal Game Boy camera and a normal Game Boy printer, which I forgot to grab, between $40 loose to about $120 in the box.
So,
The Pokemon one, Anto?
according to eBay, the yellow Pikachu edition pocket printer that you've got there, loose, goes for anywhere from $100 to $350
US, just that. And Game Boy Dad, you should probably ignore this segment.
Boxed, you're looking at a minimum of $250 up to about $500.
Good lord.
Depending on condition, but like one that's in good sort of nick with
How would you rate this
printer
condition,
paper and
Zach?
stuff, you're looking at about $450-ish.
It's not mint, but it's pretty good.
Okay. Mint for something that's how many years old?
Almost 30.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
Just before I show the photo that I've got here, so that people who can't sort of see what's on the table very well. Is this Mr. A Game?
Hey?
Is that Mr. A Game?
It is. That's so good.
No, but I can see it now.
Yeah, right?
That's great.
Hashtag Mr. A Game.
Number 4. So the rest of this stuff I don't own. But I know, again, Julian from Ghost Games owns 2 of these because he's trying for a complete Nintendo 64 collection. So he has a lot of Nintendo 64 stuff. Coming in at number 4 is the Nintendo 64 glove controller. There it is.
What?
So it was based on the Power Glove. Specific hand and wrist movements were used to use as the controller. So unlike the Power Glove, you actually had to go like this in order to move people. Online prices for the controller range from about $100 to $150 for a loose version, and $600 for a sealed version. I mean, I love it. I would love one of these. It's so bad.
That's horrendous.
It's like the Power Glove. It's so bad.
But what's more, do you know how you wear it? So you would think that those bits go over your knuckles, right?
Yep.
No, that goes underneath.
Yeah, it's in your hand.
It's in your hand like this. So you're basically using a joystick without the joystick.
Oh, my brain. That is so stupid. The
reminds
Infinity
me
Gauntlet.
Of...
It's awful piece of peripheral, but worth money because most of these awful things are.
Why is it again, I agree with Floppy, the worst things are worth the most money. It makes no sense.
Because they didn't sell well, people didn't buy them, so there's not that many out in the wild. So, for example, Pokemon Crystal is one of the most sought after Pokemon games because it's sold the least out of the third tier Pokemon games.
Right.
Only 6 million copies sold or something. So there's not a lot of them around, which is why a box copy you can get $500 to $600 for.
I'm sorry, only 6 million?
Yep.
That's an only.
Yep. And that's that
Compared
least.
to what?
The 20 to 40 to 120 million that all the other ones sold.
Wait, silver and gold sold like tens of millions of copies.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's why the third games are always worth more because they didn't sell as much.
they're
And
also
usually,
better.
yeah, usually the better form of the game. Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Platinum, all were better.
Yeah.
Anto?
Yeah, what?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were interjecting.
Oh, I was just going to say the stupid N64 glove controller just reminds me of, like, a way too over-engineered version of this thing that came out for the ColecoVision.
That kind of looks like a baby's toy.
It's like a glove controller with buttons on the inside, but the joystick's on the top. It's just not attached to your wrist like the N64 one.
It looks like something I'd buy
So
my
you're doing
daughter.
this.
Yeah, I mean, it does
Doing
look
this
like
action?
a kid's toy, but that's kind of what video games were in the 70s
this
and
action?
80s.
Yeah,
Like
that's. I see
Give
you're
it
an
all
expert,
that
Ben.
wrist action, Ben.
Game Boy Pocket Sonar. Have you ever wanted to go fishing with your Game Boy? Well, now you can.
I remember when these things were like actually being sold in stores. It's
Wait,
hilarious.
what?
Officially called the Gogan Tanchiki Pocket Sonar, it was unsurprisingly the world's first sonar peripheral for a video game console. Using a specialist piece of equipment that went underwater alongside a cartridge that had been inserted into the Game Boy, the Pocket Sonar was able to accurately detect submerged items. The information was then displayed on the Game Boy screen, giving users an idea of whether there were any fish, plants, or man-made items in the water. The accessories also included a fishing minigame alongside a sort of fish encyclopedia that might be useful to those looking out for certain types of fish.
Insane. Just madness.
And so just next to it, there's a video of it.
What?
I'll put a video there next to the topic where it says here.
That's not a video.
It's not?
No, it's an image.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's a pity. I thought it was a video. Oh,
There
well,
you go.
there you go. There's someone using the Pocket Sonar to go fishing.
I'm so confused.
Why? What's there to be confused about? Like, fishermen are the key Game Boy demographic. You're out in a boat. You don't know what to do. Oh, I'll put my Game Boy on. Oh, I wish...
You know what my children's plaything needs? Military technology. Sick.
No, it's for fishing.
Oh yeah, that's for sourcing like underwater mines. That's what that is. I see what they're up to.
How much do you reckon these go for online?
Probably a stupid amount of money.
I'm going to call... So are we talking Australian or...
I think these are all US prices.
All right, so in terms of US, I'm going to go at least 400.
Okay. And Zach, what do you reckon?
I'm going to say $350 loose.
Mm-hmm.
$800.
Not a bad... No, you guys are starting to get in the range now. 400 US loose to 600 boxed.
Holy shit,
That's
really?
so much money.
It is a lot of money.
That is insane.
And they were very hard to come by, but I think they found a whole container of them over in Japan a couple of years back.
I was going to say, because these were Japan only, yeah?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, like... Oof.
All right, number 2. Now, this is another thing that Ghost Games has, and I've been tempted to buy it on many an occasion, but it's stupid expensive, and I can't even justify spending that amount of money on something that's just a gag. It is the GameCube ASCII keyboard controller.
It's the ASCII 2.
That's what it is. Thank you. What do you think of that, baby? How would you explain that, Zach? For the podcast listeners.
Imagine a... This is... What an abomination. Imagine a... Like, 1990s... early 2000s cream-colored keyboard from, like, your middle school, from your high school, in between a GameCube controller.
Yep.
It is hideous and completely pointless. Why would you need a keyboard for a GameCube?
I'll tell you.
For
So
the more modern audiences.
This was released exclusively in Japan in 2002. The white accessory plugged directly into the GameCube and required 2 controller ports, meaning it wasn't useful to anyone to play local multiplayer with only 4 players. The keyboard only worked in Phantasy Star Online. Yep, and people were complaining that even as a keyboard, the keys were too small, so it was useless to use. You know, that was the problem, that the keys were too small.
Yeah, how else are you supposed to ask someone to be your wife
All right,
on Phantasy Star?
what do we reckon? Loose and boxed, what are we looking at?
Loose here, I've seen them go for like 150.
Mm-hmm.
Boxed, I would imagine not even double. You're looking at maybe triple, so like 350 plus.
Yeah, it's not bad. Zach, what do you think?
Because of how horrendously ugly and stupid it is, I'm going to say 175-ish loose with a 400 boxed.
Zach was actually closer. 200 loose.
Yeah, wow.
480 boxed.
Wow.
That's so stupid.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, fun fact.
Yep.
I've played Smash Melee with one of these.
Oh, really?
And how was that experience?
Honestly, it's just like using a normal controller if you don't touch the keyboard
really
bit.
far apart.
Yeah, it's just like a PlayStation Portal with a keyboard instead of a screen.
And you want to say hi to someone, you go H.
Yeah,
Hi.
just face roll.
All right. Number one. Now, number one, everyone's heard about this. Everyone knows about this, but it's probably the most famous accessory that never came out. But
Is it
there
an
are,
accessory or
I
a
mean,
system?
well, it's an add-on, so I'm guessing it's an accessory. Didn't come out of the box. I'm talking about the Super Nintendo PlayStation.
Bam.
I'm sorry, what?
Have you never heard
Can
about
I tell
this?
the story?
What?
Can I tell the story? Or do you want to do it, Ben?
We'll tag team it, Anto. I'll go, and then you can follow up.
Okay.
Have you never heard about this story?
No, what is this?
Okay, so this is an actual thing. This is a prototype. There was only a couple of made. Basically, back in the 90s, Nintendo got into partnership with Sony to develop a CD-ROM add-on to the Super Nintendo to make bigger games. They had a falling out over rights, and Nintendo went, you know what, Sony? Go away. And got into bed with Philips, which created the wonderful Philips CDI, which everyone can say is now a powerhouse of the industry. Sony went, you know what, Nintendo, we'll show you, and took their PlayStation technology and went, you know what? Let's make a PlayStation.
Nintendo are
PlayStation's origin
responsible
story.
for their
It
biggest
legitimately
rival.
is PlayStation's origin story. PlayStation would not exist if Nintendo went cocky cocks.
And they created their biggest competitor.
Yep.
That is amazing.
By being arrogant Nintendo, they created the company that would one day completely blow them out of the water.
Oh my
Yep.
god. Thank you, Nintendo, for creating some of the best and happiest childhood memories for me in the PlayStation 1. You fools! Imagine what they would have accomplished together.
So, yeah, I know. A huge what-if moment. Can you imagine if they stuck to it?
That's an alternate. That's a what if episode of in Marvel on Disney Plus right there.
Can you imagine
right.
if, like, Nintendo still had PlayStation technology to this day? Like, imagine Mario and Zelda and whatnot in a PlayStation 5.
Imagine Pokemon Scarlet and Violet would have run.
Yeah.
Wow, we might get like 40 frames a second.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did I pretty much nail it there, Anto?
Pretty much. There's a few other interesting tidbits I want to jump in on, though.
Oh, I knew
Hit
you
me.
would.
Hit me.
So it was created like as a general pitch, as a response to the Sega CD,
Mhm.
because Sega dominated Nintendo in the early '90s.
With all
they
that
did.
blast processing.
The NES came out and was like the savior of the industry for a bit. Then the Mega Drive launched, and in the US, Sega captured 86% of the console market. And
It
then
was a good console.
Nintendo were like, "Fuck, okay, like here's for Super Nintendo." Then Sega were like, "Here's for Sega CD," and then Nintendo were like, "Shit, okay, we've got to do it too." And as you said, they jumped into partnership with Sony initially. Then they sort of went, we don't like the fact that you're going to have rights to our characters and be able to release games of your own. We're not super keen on that.
So we'll give it to Philips and they can release the Wand of Gamelon.
They entered into the same agreement they had with Sony with Philips, but for cheaper somehow. And the best part of this, they didn't tell Sony until they announced on stage at the Consumer Electronics Show in like 1993, I think it was.
Did not know that part.
Hey, we've partnered with Philips for our CD technology. Sony were completely blindsided, and the designer of the PlayStation hardware, Ken Kutaragi, who was like responsible for the processor and like the graphics design and everything up to like the PS3 generation. He went to like the head of Sony at the time, who was like initially against getting into the video game console business, and he literally just said to the guy, "We've been burned. We can't let it end here. We have to keep like developing this and make our own thing. Let's just do it." And the president of Sony Japan only said to this guy, "Do it." And he walked out of the room, and that was the story done. The PlayStation was made. Bam, here we are.
Isn't that amazing?
It's nuts.
I'm actually surprised you didn't know that story.
No. That's
it's one of my favorite
fantastic.
bits of video game history. Just the like super samurai approach of like, yeah, just do it. Honor has been besmirched.
Yep.
Like, oh,
Destroy them.
it's so good.
Like, that is absolutely amazing.
So
Yeah.
it was for many, 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 many years argue as to whether there were any prototypes made or if any existed. Then in 2020, an individual was going through his father's attic who used to work at Sony, and he came across a prototype, the only one that is known.
No.
So they got it. It didn't work. It booted up, but it didn't
booted,
play
but
discs.
it didn't play games because the initial like loading software to actually make it run both CDs and SNES cartridges wasn't present. There have been a few more since then that have popped up on eBay and other selling sites that do work because they're like further along development-wise.
So this particular one, that the very first one that was found, was put to auction. I'll ask Zach first. How much do you reckon it went for at auction?
All right, at auction, I'm going to say
Piece of history.
upwards of 60 grand.
Ooh, you are
Ooh.
far below the number, my friend.
300,000 US dollars. Now I didn't ask you, Anto, because I knew you knew it.
I've got the run sheet in front of me, but I also knew it.
$300,000. But it is a piece of history.
100%.
Like,
100%.
isn't that amazing? Oh man, I'm so glad you're on this show, because Floppy would have known that and he'd gone, "Oh yeah, man, so cool."
I did not know that. That's amazing. I can't believe Sony PlayStation has an origin story like Batman. That's so good.
But we've been Hack the Dino. This is the part we usually turn off, but please don't, because we have very important things to say where we bring you the past, present, and future. So I slipped that in. It was like a subliminal message. People
Yeah,
are going
I
to
gotta
listen
say,
now.
Ben, I turn off here as well.
Well, you're missing out, because this is where all the real good stuff happens, like Zach plugging his stuff. Zach, what do you got to plug so people don't turn off?
Check out Riot City Wrestling because I do stuff there and it hurts. Check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Zak_Sabbath, or check me out on the socials. Just look up Zak_Sabbath. You'll find me. There's a link tree there. I do lots of stuff and things like TikTok and Instagram where I post lifting videos and clips of my Twitch.
And you should totally check out Zach's next stream where he's going to play Rez with like...
Jesus Christ.
Anto, what do you do?
Basically, like everything we do, I'm on Instagram. That's pretty much the only social media that I plug. I don't do much on it because it's, mostly a Final Fantasy thing, and I haven't picked up anything sort of major in the last while. And I haven't actually updated it in a while, so I'm not going to bother showing it. The only other thing I can think to plug at the moment is Floppy and I will be streaming Helldivers 2 soon.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Awesome.
I was fortunate enough to obtain a code for the game, so I didn't have to pay for it, which is lovely.
That's dope.
So yeah, Floppy and I will be squadding up and killing some bugs, which will be fun. I'm sure if we coordinate it, Zach, we could probably grab you as well.
Oh, heck yeah. I don't own it yet, but I will.
Yeah. Watch this space. I guess keep an eye on our socials for when that's going to actually be happening.
You should do a cross stream.
But yeah, we'll
100%.
absolutely stream it at some point whenever we can get a time together for everyone.
And you can see some of my stuff over on Super Retro Squad. Yeah, that's what I'll push this year. Super Retro Squad, where I go out and try and find some old video games and add them to my collection, or maybe sell so I can buy some other stuff for my old collection. It's all lots of fun. So Super Retro Squad on the TikToks, on the Instagram, and on the YouTubes. You should head on over to the YouTube, because it's actually growing really well. I'm actually quite happy with the old count that's going up. But if you like the Count, then you should watch Sesame Street, because the Count's a good character. Zach, what do you like about the Count? What's your favourite part of one?
You know, I heard it. That reminds me of a good dad joke.
Two.
Someone asked me what my favorite vampire was, or who my favorite vampire was. I said, I think he's on Sesame Street. And they said, I don't think that counts. And I said, I assure you, he does.
I love that joke. It's so good.
Boo. Very quickly, who's your favourite Muppet?
I don't like the Muppets.
No, the Muppet like Sesame Street, all the Jim Henson creations. Come on.
Dark Crystal.
Oh, the Sketsky?
Yes.
Man,
Nightmare Fuel.
They are
Nightmare
even
Fuel.
Did you watch the modern one?
No.
Oh man, they are even more terrifying.
That's
It's-
gross.
you should watch it though. The Age of Resistance. Yeah, 100%. It's really slow and drawn out, but it feels like those old 80s type films. You know, when the plot lumbers on and it's really atmospheric and like
Yes.
heavy. It's like that, but for 13 episodes. And Jim Henson's son made some of the puppets.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
I believe.
Did Jim Henson do Labyrinth?
His workshop did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Labyrinth. Also, very good.
Also, David Bowie's Codpiece
100%.
was 100%
Best part of the movie.
A res controller.
Best part of the movie.
Best part of the movie.
Anto,
David Bowie's junk.
who's your favorite? Who's your favorite Muppet?
Oscar the Grouch, because he lives in my trash, and so do I.
I'm there for that. That is a very, very good answer. But the correct answer, and the Dino faithful will know what I mean when I say. Here's the bit of birdie, here's the bit more, here's the do to do, here's the do to do, here's the bit more, body to do, Mr. Chicken, Mr. Chicken Scoot.
You know my favorite part about this? Chuck a hat on Ben. He looks exactly like the Swedish chef.
He does. He really does.
That's your thumbnail right there.
Cancel at any time, Anto.